If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, catch a movie in downtown Disney. The Evil Queen is coming to a tiki mug. Cast members are recognized as Disney Legacy Award recipients.
A new place outside of the parks to enjoy some nighttime entertainment. Celebrate Thanksgiving with some characters. We talk to creative director Brandon from Spirit Jersey and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Oh boy, it sure is great to see you, Weekly Tears. Come on, Goofy. Gors.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of October 1st, 2025. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Tag Bushman, and I cannot believe that it is already October.
I know.
I'd also just like to say, because you could probably hear it in my voice, I just had nasal surgery this week, so if my voice sounds terrible or I sound stuffy or anything like that, it is all related to me recuperating from that. So, and Teresa and I are recording remotely, so if it sounds a little different, that's the other thing too. So, well, we'd like to thank everyone who supports the show this week. We'd like to give a special shout out to Kat P for becoming a new weekly tier, and to Shannon W for upgrading their membership, and also to Gretchen D, Lisa A, and Brian P for continuing to support us. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, we just had our book club meeting this past weekend where we talked about our current book club, which is about Disney adults. We got a couple more sessions of that and a bunch of other perks. Head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Well, and now since we're in October, we can also start talking about our DL Weekly supporter ornament exchange that we host each year, because that's just around the corner, since holy cats, we're nearing the end of 2025 already. So that's another really fun thing that we get together and do every year as well.
Oh, yeah, because that'll probably be starting to get organized at the end of the October, beginning soon. Of November. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra, read all about it. DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Downtown Disney is the place to be in October. The shopping district will be hosting movie nights presented by M&M's. The movies will be shown at 7 p.m. in the Downtown Disney live stage on October 1st, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. During the movie nights, a limited-time Disney Wonderful World of Sweets cart will be open, offering treats for the movie.
So they already had one of these. I just didn't put the date because it had already passed on September 24th. And that movie was Hocus Pocus. So this kind of gives you an idea. It's probably going to be maybe some Halloween movies. They didn't really say what the movies are going to be. But did you see these treats?
Yes. Looks like we've got some caramel apples, as well as some like fancy Disney caramel apples that are like chocolate dip Mickey ones, cake pops. There's like this fun like M&M's cookie thing, popcorn, of course. Looks
There's
very
so
fun.
much. Yeah, it seems like a cool set of stuff that you can get with this. I'm interested to see. I should have done some more research when I was looking at this today. I was curious to see, like, do they bring out a screen? How big is the screen? How does it sound? Like, I have so many questions.
You know what? We can just go experience it for ourselves and like go check it out when we're there, because it'll be some movie, we don't know what movie, will be playing while we're there during our vacation.
That is true. It'll be the day after our Oogie Boogie Bash night. So cool.
So I just realized all of the treats. So we just named a couple of them, but there's even more. But it's basically anytime you go to one of the candy shops, any treat that has M&M's, which makes sense since M&M's is sponsoring the event.
I didn't even put that together.
Oh,
Well, yet another tiki mug is coming to the Disneyland Resort for the Halloween season. The new mug features the evil queen on one side and the old hag on the other. The old hag is holding a poison apple. The first opportunity to get this tiki mug will be through mobile order for pickup at the Disneyland Hotel Grand Ballroom starting at 6 a.m. Disneyland time on October 1st. Pickup windows will be from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. The mug designer, artist Florian Bertmer, will be on hand to sign mugs on October 1st starting at 5 p.m. The second chance will be at Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar on October 2nd. There is a limit of 2 per transaction while supplies last.
I love this design of the tiki mug because it, I'm sure intentionally, transports me right into Snow White's, I guess it's not Scary Adventures, Snow White's like the Snow White attraction.
Enchanted Wish.
Enchanted Wish now, yes. Snow White's Enchanted Wish, where you are looking and you can see the evil queen from her reflection in the mirror, and then when she turns, she's the evil hag. And that's exactly what this is. It's like that somehow made into a tiki mug, because one side you have the evil queen actually framed up in a golden mirror, and then the opposite side of that is the evil hag, and she's even holding the poison apple too.
Now, I know this is not the point of these. I feel like this would be a difficult tiki mug to drink out of.
That's what straws are for.
Okay, I guess you could put a straw in it. I love the details on this one. It looks really amazing. I won't be there for this. It'll be way sold out by the time we're there. But this is a really cool looking tiki mug. I love the details on it. I love the creativity. It just, if you're a tiki mug collector, this is definitely something to add to your collection.
We also should mention that this is not the only Snow White Evil Queen themed mug that's going to be at the resorts for the Halloween season. There is also a witch theme mug featuring the poison apple that's available for purchase at the Carthay Circle Lounge in California Adventure. This begins on October 2nd, but this one looks like it was carved out of wood almost. So it's the evil queen holding a little cup that's like the poison apple, that looks like the poison apple in it. I'm assuming the evil witch, the old hag version of the evil queen, is just like the stand, and the cup is the poison apple itself.
Oh.
Yeah. It looks like it was like the old hag looks like she was carved out of wood.
Yeah.
It's very neat.
That is so cool. Some of these artists and their creative interpretations of things are just, I mean, that's kind of most of the fun, right? Is just to see how they interpret this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, a new group of cast members from Disneyland have been recognized as Walt Disney Legacy Award recipients. Only 1% of all cast members receive this prestigious award. This year, a well-known cast member joined the ranks. Steve Finley, best known as the cast member who drives the fire engine on Main Street, was recognized. Joining Steve is Hank Amin, who we have spoken about previously as being the longest tenured cast member at Disneyland. Alondra Chavez Castaneda from Main Gate Reception and Carol Vincent, a merchandise hostess at Company D, were also added to the ranks.
What a cool, class of Walt Disney Legacy Award recipients. Steve is kind of an icon in and of himself, because I feel like when you think of, at least when I think of the Main Street fire engine, other than Walt, obviously, I think of Steve. And of course, we've talked a couple times about Hank Amin, who is a firefighter at Disneyland, and he's been there forever. And then, of course, these other folks. Just what a awesome group of people.
Well, the neat thing, too, is I guess, we typically focus on parks stuff. So it's neat to see, a Company D merchandise hostess and, Main Gate Reception. Those aren't necessarily some places that as the guest you're going to be interacting with those folks. So it's really cool to see what other aspects are getting recognized as well. I also just want to give a shout out to the Disney Parks blog for doing little write-ups to really celebrate these cast members, because they 1000% deserve it. We are very fortunate to know Philander, who is also one of the few that have been able to get this award, which is super well deserved. But I just think it's so cool that they're giving little write-ups to give a little peek if you don't know who these folks are, if you don't recognize them, to kind of explain, who they are, what they're about. You also get a little sneak peek into their fun little parties that celebrate their award and all that. So I just think it's really, really cool.
I also realized that I left someone out of this list. I'm so sorry. Jim Campbell also, he was an entertainment cast member that's worked at the resort for over 30 years. He also was a Disney legend. So I apologize that I did not mention him as well, but he is also one of these Disney legend awardees.
Yeah, so congratulations to not only this class of the Walt Disney Legacy Award recipients, but all previous ones too. So these are the folks, if you're ever in the parks and you see someone that has a blue name badge, that's how you know that they are the Walt Disney Legacy Award recipient. And again, only 1% of all cast members. So it's a big, big deal.
Yeah. And congratulations to all of them once again. A new location to catch the Halloween Screams fireworks is coming this Halloween season. On select nights, visitors to the Disneyland Resort can experience the nighttime spectacular from the Pixar Place Hotel rooftop deck. There is no requirement to be a guest at the hotel, and there is no purchase required. The soundtrack for Halloween Screams will be played on the deck during the show.
I'm so curious about this. We're going to have to keep kind of watching this to try and figure out, it just says on select nights that they can experience it from the rooftop deck. So I don't know if that means on nights that there's fireworks as well as the projections, because sometimes it's just projections. So I'm curious because I kind of want to go experience it from there, because I've never seen the fireworks from that vantage point before. And the fact that they also pump in the music makes it even cooler, because yes, fireworks are awesome, but when they're synchronized and you can kind of get the full feel and the full effect with the music, it's just a whole different level. Yeah,
I think my interpretation of on select nights is, if there's fireworks, because if there's no fireworks, you're not going to see very much from the rooftop deck. But honestly, I know this is going to sound weird. I didn't even know the Pixar Place Hotel had a rooftop deck. So there you go.
So this is one of the weird things that I got to learn from planning a wedding at Disneyland. This was one of the options, and one of the things you could do was to, if you had your reception or whatever at the Pixar Place Hotel, but it was the Paradise Pier Hotel at that point, this was an add-on or something kind of special and unique to that location, was to view the fireworks from the rooftop.
Huh.
All the interesting things you get to learn. I do think it's cool that they're, we've got the new lounge for the club level people at the Disneyland Hotel that has firework viewing with the sound pumped in, and then also that you've got it over at the Pixar Place Hotel Grand. I don't know how or where you'd really be able to do it for the Grand. Maybe they'll figure it out, but I just think it's kind of a fun, different thing to do. I don't think we'll ever see the music take over the Esplanade, so you can watch the fireworks from the Esplanade with the music, but I do think it's neat that they're kind of using these different areas, and so you don't have to be in the parks to really get to experience that magic.
I wish they would pump it into the Esplanade though, but my guess is already a lot of people go to watch it. Yes. And I think if you added music, I think it would just encourage even more people, and that's not easy for them to manage out there.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. But I mean, as magical as it is to watch from these, outside of the park places, it just doesn't beat the feeling of being right smack dab in the middle of Main Street and watching Zero fly over the castle and the Jack Skellington inflatable head thing come to life. This is just making me want to camp out in front of the castle so we get a super amazing view of Halloween Screams to be able to see all of these extras. Well, we always talk about the confectionery display in the lobby at the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. Well, this year, the Disneyland Hotel is getting in on the act. A 5-foot-tall Mickey pumpkin made of 60 pounds of chocolate, 55 pounds of rice cereal, 30 pounds of marshmallows, and 120 pounds of fondant sits in the lobby.
This is cute. So this is obviously a confectionery version of the Mickey pumpkin that's on Main Street. It's surrounded by a bunch of little pumpkins at the bottom. And I don't know, how cool. I'm so glad that Disney is starting to put stuff in the Grand Californian isn't the only place you can put stuff like this. So I'm glad that they're kind of branching out and kind of adding some of these things into more places than just the Grand Californian, because it is really cool and spectacular in the Grand Californian. But Disneyland Hotel is pretty cool too.
I'm just blown away by the fact that this team, I don't know, maybe there's multiple teams and I'm just naive and I don't know all the ins and outs. If someone knows, please email in and let us know. But I assume, and again, I could be very wrong, that the people that put together this display in the Disneyland Hotel are also the people that put together the display in the Grand Californian lobby. But do we also think it's the same people that do the gingerbread house?
Probably.
How are they that's magic right there. Just them pumping all these things out. Because, like we said, larger than life. 120 pounds of fondant. Just very cool. And it's not, if you've ever seen these, they're just so well done, and there's so many fun little details. Of course, lots of different little hidden Mickeys, and just amazing. So kudos to this team.
You know what I think would be the saddest part of all of this?
This one has 13 hidden Mickeys, the Mickey pumpkin.
The saddest thing I think would be watching them disassemble it at the end, because they're pieces of art in their own right. Yeah. So I'm imagining, they're probably not taking it down, I don't know. I'm sure it's in the wee hours when guests are sleeping, and so they don't see it, and it's gone overnight. But I just imagine, how do you, I'm just imagining, this is kind of a sad thought. I'm just imagining this Mickey pumpkin, in a dumpster in the back, just looking sad and whatever.
So there is additional information, because there's a fun little fact card that's in front of this display. So it was created by a team of 6 cast members. And they dedicated more than 240 hours to make this, come alive. That's 6 people. That's wild. That's so cool.
That's one 40-hour work week for each of them to get it done. And that's spending every minute of that time doing it.
Still.
I'm with you. It's crazy.
Very, very impressive.
It's art.
Mm-hmm. Edible art.
Weekly Cheers who might want to have Thanksgiving with their extended Disney family have an opportunity. Goofy's Kitchen is hosting a special Thanksgiving meal. The meal features a Thanksgiving Day buffet for brunch or dinner on November 27th. Booking opens up for this on October 9th. Visit the link in our show notes for all of the details.
I love that they do this. It's, everybody has their holiday traditions, and I think that it's really fun and special that Disneyland also kind of opens up for your holiday traditions to be at their parks and at their resorts. And they even want to make sure that you don't feel like you're, losing out on a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and you can kind of do that in different ways. So of course, like we just said, Goofy's Kitchen is one of the places that you can have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Of course, I'm sure it's at Goofy's Kitchen, so there's probably going to be a twist, and it's not going to be just your average Thanksgiving dinner. But there's other places that you can go throughout the park, and even if it might just be something as, maybe your traditions to get the Thanksgiving sandwich from Earl of Sandwich, or you get something from Jolly Holiday, or whatever. I just think it's really, really fun. If I lived closer to Disneyland, I think that this would be a really great alternative, especially if, say, there's a year or something that you're not able to connect and be with family. This would be another really fun, magical way to celebrate the holiday.
No, absolutely. And if you're, a Disney fan, like we all are, doing it with the characters is a cool, unique thing, because maybe a lot of times people say, the holidays with the family can be stressful and everything.
Yeah.
Might as well take all that stress of having to cook a meal and stuff off the plate. And if you're able and you can get your family to go to Disney and spend it there, I think that'd be pretty cool. A good alternative, at least once, maybe.
Yeah. Well, a reopening of a popular location at the Grand Californian is now delayed until early 2026. Napa Rose has been undergoing renovations since April of this year and was originally scheduled to reopen this fall. When the location reopens, it will feature expanded counters to watch the chefs in action, natural textures such as reclaimed oak flooring and columns, hand-pinged artisan metals, leathers, deep Cabernet colors, and an eye-catching chandelier. The patio will be expanded with more seating and 2 fireplaces, allowing guests to be surrounded by soft lighting and lush greenery.
Yeah, I was just watching before we were recording here, David from Fresh Baked, he was kind of reporting on the the appearance of this area from the outside. And my guess would be that they're probably having to wait on things like, it seems like they're expanding the outdoor section, and it looks like they're still waiting for some things like some electrical and some other things to be done. And my guess, I don't know, this is totally just me speaking out of the air, that they might be waiting for people to come sign off on wiring or plans to do wiring, or people to come do some of these things to get permits, those kind of things, to get it all signed off and done. And it's just taking maybe a little bit longer. It's a little bit more complex than they initially anticipated. But I think what it's done, it's going to be spectacular, and I think it's definitely going to be worth the wait. I know some people were probably really excited to visit for the holiday season and have a meal at Napa Rose, and now that is not really likely to happen because it's not opening until early next year. But I think it'll be worth it when it does reopen.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it'll be a nice expansion and a nice updating of the space.
Yeah. I need to eat there sometime. I don't think I've ever... Was it Napa... Because where did we eat? We ate at Storytellers. Yes. I've never eaten in Napa Rose, and I think it'd be cool to eat there one time, but have not made it there yet.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We have to get the snacks for Tag and Teresa and James and Bern. Oh, and Cinderella. Time for SnackChat.
Well, speaking of food, it's that time again for SnackChat. I feel like we should have like a little SnackChat jingle.
Oh, geez.
I don't know what it is, but that'd be fun. Anyways, so this week we are actually eating our way through downtown Disney. In this first location, I kind of scratched my head at because I don't think I've ever heard it called this before, but I got it made sense. The pizza counter. So this is kind of located next to, what is it called?
Earl of Sandwich.
The pizza counter is?
This is where it showed up on the map.
Really? Okay, I'm learning something new because I thought that this was is it Naples? Is that the pizza place?
That's the one across the way. We will cover that eventually, but that's not this one.
I thought that's what this was. Okay, well, don't listen to me. I'm learning things as we go.
No, so in downtown Disney, like in the same building as Earl of Sandwich, between the Earl of Sandwich and the Earl of Sandwich Tavern, which we're going to talk about in a minute as well, is the pizza counter.
Really?
And yeah, so it's that bar section that is only open for lunch and dinner.
Interesting. Well, guess what they have there? I'm sure if you said pizza, you're right, because they do. They have a margarita pizza, a garden vegetable pizza, a meat lover's pizza, pepperoni, and there's even a squash blossom and prosciutto pizza. Looks like there's just one size, 10-inch round pies. Nice, what do I want to call it? Even though there's only 5 options, it's a good... There's some interesting things. You got your classics, but squash blossom and prosciutto.
Right.
Mozzarella, squash blossom, burrata, prosciutto. What? Hang on. We need to pause. Did you read the descriptions? They're pizza packs. So it comes with a pizza, a house salad, and tiramisu.
That sounds awesome to me.
Interesting. I need to know more about this. The Disneyland website does not have nearly enough information for for all of my questions.
it was one of those things that when we started covering Downtown Disney last week and we started looking at this, I was like, oh, what is this pizza counter? I was like, well, that's a problem for next week. And
we
then
still
here we
don't
are.
fully know. We still don't fully know what the pizza counter is. It sounds really interesting. It's going to be just a couple of, it's going to have, maybe this will translate over into the new Earl space, but it will be at this current location. So the old La Brea Bakery location days are numbered as they're finishing up construction on the far end of Downtown Disney over by the Downtown Disney live stage on the new Earl of Sandwich permanent home and nice big building. Perhaps these wonderful pizza counter menu items will travel along with them. Yeah, you're right though. It's definitely an interesting thing. I'm trying to look really quickly here. The pizza counter sits between Earl of Sandwich Quick Service and the Earl of Sandwich Tavern. But same building.
Yeah, and it's anyway.
I would have thought like the tavern served pizza, not that it would be a separate thing.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Nope. It's totally a thing. I'll put another link. There's a review on Dad's Guide to WDW. Now, it is a Disneyland post, but that's just what the website is called. I'll put that in the show notes so you guys can go see the review of this and how they think it's an odd location and everything as well. So, but I like the idea that it comes with some options.
Yeah, that it's like a whole meal. Maybe I wonder if it's served like family style.
Yeah. Well, and then we talked about Earl of Sandwich last week in the two different locations with two different menus. There is the Earl of Sandwich Tavern, which this is the last Earl of Sandwich
with the pizza
thing.
Counter.
Yes. This is the last thing that we will talk about of Earl of Sandwich, unless between now and us finishing Downtown Disney, there's going to be yet another Earl of Sandwich something, which who knows, there might be. They have breakfast as well as lunch and dinner here. So the tavern is like the sit-down quick service restaurant that's furthest from the entrance gates to Disneyland. For breakfast, their main meals are they have a blueberry buttermilk pancakes, they have avocado toast, eggs Benedict, a croissant French toast, they have a breakfast slam, a breakfast burrito, and a Western omelet. And that rounds out their breakfast offerings.
Okay, so I'm not like a huge, like breakfast is not my favorite meal of the day, huge breakfast type person. I am so curious though about this croissant French toast. So it's a croissant, vanilla bean, citrus, powdered sugar, fresh strawberries. I'm so curious what croissant French toast is. We might have to go check it out.
It sounds amazing. That's what it is.
It does sound delicious. I mean, I don't feel like you could go wrong with blueberry buttermilk pancakes. Also delicious.
Wait a second. Is the croissant French toast, do you think it's similar to the thing at Jolly Holiday that has like the whipped cream and the strawberry? Because it sounds like it could be something similar.
Could be.
Well, what do they got for lunch and dinner, Teresa?
Well, so for lunch and dinner, you've got a couple of starters, soups, and salad to get you ready for the main event, your main meal. But we've got twice cooked buffalo wings, a tomato basil bisque, and then for salad options, there's a Caesar salad, mixed green salad, Caesar salad with salmon, or a mixed green salad with salmon.
Oh, okay. I'm very excited now because I used to get a Caesar salad with salmon.
Oh.
Where was that? You know where I used to get it? Teresa, you'll like... People who don't know the Midwest may not know this reference, but Teresa, you'll know this. Famous Dave's, the barbecue place, used to have a salad with salmon, and I loved it. It's not on the menu anymore. But anyway, sounds good. And then for sandwiches, they have a BELT sandwich, which is 2 farm fresh eggs over easy with vine-ripened tomatoes, applewood smoked bacon, butter leaf lettuce, herb aioli on a sourdough bread served with house fries or a fruit cup. They have a buffalo chicken sandwich, a turkey club, and a mac and cheeseburger. Uh-oh. Don't tell James that one.
That sounds interesting. For entrees, you've got your choice of spaghetti and meatballs, fish and chips, roasted prime rib of beef, fish tacos, chicken fettuccine alfredo, and slow roasted chicken.
Of course, you could always get some sides of home fries, mac and cheese, or a green bean blend. What do they got for dessert?
For dessert, I don't think you've got a wrong choice here. We've got white chocolate bread pudding, which is warm white chocolate bread pudding served with vanilla ice cream and a sweet whiskey sauce. There's a New York style cheesecake with graham cracker crust topped with garden fresh strawberries and puree, as well as a dark chocolate ganache cake. No description needed, apparently, for the dark chocolate ganache cake.
I mean, do you need one?
And then, of course, a array of different beverages for your choosing as well.
You know, I feel like maybe we should at least look at some of the things in this location when we're there, because I feel like
if it's still there, I feel like poor Earl Sandwich. The clock has been ticking for a while, and we keep getting told, "Oh, that location is closing up." Or, "Oh, nope, it's been extended." "Oh, nope, but they're gonna close again." Like, I feel for those people that work at that location, because that's got to be kind of stressful to not know really fully what's going on, and if are we moving, are we not moving, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if they're still at the location and still operating at the end of October when we're there. We'll have to go peek our heads in and check it out. If not, just to at least like see the pizza counter that we had no idea existed until we were doing this wonderful SnackChat conversation.
That's the glory of SnackChat, right?
Yes, it is. Learning something new every day, right? Well, if you're going to be at the Disneyland Resort on Sunday, October 19th, come and meet us and other weekly tiers. We're going to be at the covered seating area just outside of the D-Lander shop in downtown Disney by the Downtown Disney live stage. We'll be meeting and greeting there from 1 until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So please stop by, say hello. You also get a little fun gift for meeting us in person. We've got a special fun thing that we like to give out to listeners that meet us in person. That's the only way that you're able to get this fun little DL Weekly swag item. But we hope to see as many of you there as possible. Once again, our meetup will be on Sunday, October 19th, down by the D-Lander shop in downtown Disney. And bonus, because last few times that we've gotten to see weekly tiers on our fun trips, both producer Vern and producer James will be there as well. So you can come and say hello to both of them and either, praise them for TriviaLand or maybe tell them your annoyance at TriviaLand, whatever.
Or give them more trivia questions.
Yeah, give them some trivia questions. Give them some ideas of things to count and look at while they're in the parks. I'm sure they'd love it.
Yeah, the whole gang is not in Disneyland very often, so the fact that all of us will be there is great. Also, that's less than 3 weeks from now.
That's wild.
That is wild.
We're coming for you, Disneyland. We're coming.
Pilots, we've detected some producer questions near Jakku. Report to your DLWeekly vessels and make the jump to hyperspace. The 7-7 Squadron will provide support during your trivia mission. Good luck, and may the Force be with you.
Welcome to TriviaLand, where we've got some great listener-submitted questions and one that came up to me because I was on Instagram. So, how are we feeling about our...
help us.
How are we feeling about our knowledge of trivia tonight?
The comment you made about interrupting your scrolling the gram?
No, that was actually this morning. I was not working out and I was ignoring the weights and scrolling the gram instead. And because I do so much Googling of Disney stuff, all the algorithms are convinced that I just want to know everything Disney. And so I get all these Disney trivia fun fact things just show up in all of my social media. And this one I was like, oh, wow, I got to verify that. And I did. And I was like, yep, this one's staying in. I'm using this tonight. And so,
well, thanks for taking one for the team, Bird.
Yeah, now it's night and we get to use it. So here we go. So your first question from listener Kavei S. In which ride queue will you find Gushu, WDI 1401, and Walrus wipes?
What? Gushu?
Gushu, WDI 1401, and Walrus wipes.
I almost feel like this might be like it's probably totally wrong, but web slingers.
That's what I was thinking too.
Or I was feeling maybe Guardians.
I was thinking web slingers, or for some reason, all I'm hearing at that last part is walrus, and I'm like, is it Finding Nemo?
And wipes.
It's wipes. 2 words. Walrus wipes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say web slingers. That's what I'm gonna go with.
I think I'm gonna stick with web slingers too.
Okay.
That was my first gut reaction.
All right, so both of you saying web slingers. Final answer.
I think as good as we get.
All right. Your second listener submitted question from listener Andy M. Who is the oldest Disney character? Specifically, I'm looking for animated.
Like age?
The first one that we've seen.
Oswald.
Oswald, yes.
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Unless you're talking about like ancient, like Mickey's timeless, and so is there some character that's older? But you mean like have been around the longest in our time?
Who is the oldest Disney character? That is the question asked by listener NDM.
We were asking for clarification, though. Is it like the character's age?
So as Walt and Ub were working together and doing their drawing and whatnot, who did they first put on the screen and create and
Oswald
bring to life?
Okay. Are we going to go with Alice then? Since we have the Alice comedies before Oswald?
This is tough, though, because I think there might have even been a character before that. And Alice was the girl. Alice wasn't a character.
Yeah,
there was other characters. I'm just going to go back to Oswald. I'm just going to say Oswald. That's where I'm going to stick.
Okay.
And you said animated character, yes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. We'll stick with Oswald.
All righty. And your third question, and this is from my Instagram feed. Before eventually using the voice of Paul Frees for the ghost host in Haunted Mansion, a woman had been considered. Who was she?
What? Well, I'm just going to turn my Haunted Mansion card right now, because...
Do you think, Teresa... So our talks in Marceline have sullied all of my Disney knowledge, because I feel like, what do I even know anymore? Was it
Peggy Lee?
Maybe. Was that who the singer songwriter person was? Okay, yeah. Lee. Maybe her, because she was doing a lot of crazy stuff, but probably not. But maybe.
I don't know. I'm just turning my card in.
I'll say Peggy Lee, because why not? And that'd be interesting that we would have just learned that a week ago.
All right, so Peggy Lee and turning in your card. Final answers.
You're making me nervous that you're on your phone now,
I'm going to send it to you, the Instagram thing I saved.
Oh.
All right. And your fourth and final question tonight from listener Chrissy A. On the road from the parking structure to the drop-off point, how many lampposts are there? Not including the ones in the drop-off area, just the ones on the road.
Well, I don't have a parking lot and ramp card to turn in, but if I did...
We're going to be using that on this next trip,
I was going to
probably.
say, fun fact, we have a rental car this next trip, and we're staying a little bit further than just across the street, so we will be doing some driving and pretending we're local. And
I'm going to just go crazy, and I'm going to say 23, like 1923.
On the road from the parking structure to the drop-off point, how many lampposts are on the road? Not including the ones in the drop-off, just on the road.
And this is for the tram, not like the car vehicle.
In the question.
Okay. I'm going to say 23.
I have no idea. I don't even. Why am I here? Why am I even in TriviaLand this week?
All right, so
I'm very lost.
23.
I mean, it could be like 55 or something too, but I'm going to stick with 23.
All right, and Teresa's not even in the car with Tag.
I just realized you're trying to write all of your answers down. I'm like, why is your penmanship so terrible? Because he's using his left hand and he's
the pad is on the left side.
So he's just writing all of our answers with his left hand.
Well, as long as his original answers aren't that way.
I don't. I'll go with Tag. We'll say 20.
They're readable. They're just not pretty.
Okay, I'll go with Tag and 23.
So you join in Tag and you're saying Michael Jordan. All right. All right. Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tag and Teresa did? If you'd like to know the answers, stick around until after the discussion and we can all find out together.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, this week for our discussion topic, we are talking to somebody who I think quite a few of the people who listen to this show probably will be very interested in our conversation with. We are welcoming creative director Brandon from Spirit Jersey to the show. Welcome, Brandon.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here.
Well, I'm sure that people are very excited to hear about Spirit Jersey stuff, and I'm hoping that we get to share some of the stuff that we learned about you from Disneyana.
I bet you we even have some people listening right now while wearing their Spirit jerseys.
Yes.
Awesome. We, it's I'd say that convention was so fun. I think like one of the most fun and enjoyable and fulfilling things for us at Spirit Jersey is going out to conventions and meeting people who know us from the parks, know us from, maybe college, know us from a resort they went to. And, we meet people who are, who are like, I have 150, I have 200, so we are always in the game of trying to meet the people who like share our fandom. So hopefully if anybody's listening wearing one, I can give some insight and a little inside scoop and bring something enjoyable for this episode to you guys. So
awesome.
I'm sure you will.
Well, Brandon, you're not just a creative director, you're also a fan yourself. So can you tell us a little bit about your Disney story? So what got you interested in Disney and or Disneyland? You can be as detailed with us as you'd like.
Definitely. I mean, I grew up in Los Angeles, so I always spent a good amount of time growing up, maybe going once, twice a year to Disneyland. I'd actually not even gone to Disney World until this year, until I started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so until 26. But I grew up going to Disneyland, and, apart from that, I'm a big film buff, so grew up watching Disney movies, so through and through, like a huge, huge fan myself. And, I mean, some of my earliest memories are going to the parks with my family. And, I loved Disney way before Spirit Jersey had a home in Disney. So I think like it kind of has come full circle a little later in life for me personally, which is just like a really cool thing. But I'm not sure if that answered the question.
No, that's perfect.
Totally.
That's perfect.
So when you go to Disneyland for a visit, which way do you go? Do you go left towards Adventureland? Do you go through the Castle to Fantasyland, right to Tomorrowland? Also, we've added, because people started talking about this, it's a whole thing. What tunnel do you go through when you enter the park under the train station, left or right?
I go left tunnel.
Oh,
not for any particular reason, but it's kind of weird. I actually might have a weird answer for the other guests. Like, I like to go on the train in the beginning, so I guess that's technically going through the tunnel and then back up the stairs.
Yeah.
Right, I think to the station. So I like the train a lot. I don't know why. It's like very nostalgic for me, and just I always feel like the cast members that work the train are always like so like passionate about it. So it's just a very special, like kind of like, old classic Disney moment. But ride wise, I love Pirates. So I'm taking that train over to Pirates and getting off there. So that's probably where I'll start.
So do you just go get off at that first stop, or do you do a full Grand Circle tour and then get off?
I do get off at the first stop.
Yep.
Because I think the train route is like kind of long, so you kind of want to get on a ride, but I love taking the train for the first ride. That's my.
I love that. You're like, I get that I get to be on the train, but I'm not wasting too much of the precious like first part of my day on the train. I get it.
Interesting that the Spirit Jersey guy skips the entire retail streets on his way in.
Well, you didn't ask me if I was going to Disney for work or for
there
fun.
There you go. Fun. We're going for fun. So
no, I always make sure to stop by. Like big part of my job is of course seeing like how we're represented on the floors and in the parks and stuff. So I definitely make it a point. I will definitely hit a lot of the retail locations in my time in the park. But listen, when you get there close to like rope drop, you got to go for the first ride, or else you're not. You got to go when the lines are short. So
you do. You got to take advantage for sure.
Yeah.
We can visit the shops in the busy time of the day.
So so you answered basically the next question, but I have a follow-up, which is, what is it about Pirates that makes it the thing that you go to right away?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I'm a big film buff. I think Pirates has some of the best storytelling. I'm not saying I don't think anybody thinks that Pirates is the most thrilling ride in the park, but it definitely has like really good storytelling and kind of takes you through a full journey, and I just love it. Like I mean, also just like a weird peaceful moment, like sitting in the when you're going kind of through the bayou in the beginning, it's like so relaxing to me, and then of course it's all fun from there. But I think it's my go-to, but I'm not going to make a case for it being the craziest ride at Disney. So
yep.
Yeah.
But you know what? We know people that it's a little too intense for them, and that first drop in the dark just is a little too much. So it's got its own version of thrills.
The first drop, the first drop can be a little intense, I think. And I feel like it's gone like the way of Tiana's, where it feels wetter than it used to be.
Wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling they might crank up like the water levels in the summer and stuff. I could totally be wrong. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but
it sure feels like it.
It feels like it.
So now that you've gone to Disney World for the first time and you've experienced their version of Pirates, what are your thoughts of Disneyland versus Disney World's interpretation?
You know what? Pirates was the ride I couldn't get to because the line's there. No. Yeah, so I'm really bummed. I did do both Space Mountains. I have to say that I think we have the better Space Mountain in Disneyland, but I didn't do Pirates, so.
I'd be interested to know what you think with being, how you really like the storytelling and the layout, because Pirates in Disney World tells the story differently. It's kind of in a different order. So I'd love to know, once you get to go on Pirates, what your thought is, World versus Land, because it's the same, but not the same. Kind of like, did you do Haunted Mansion when you were out there?
I did. Haunted Mansion was really cool there.
But not you're like, this is familiar, but not.
Yeah, it has some key differences, especially like in the line is super different, and actually getting through right. Even Tower of Terror in Disney World, I only remember Tower of Terror from like a kid, being a kid in Disneyland or in DCA. But did the DCA version like also move forward down the hall, or was that just the Disney World?
The only version that ever does that is the one that's in Florida.
Okay, because I did that there, and that I was like shocked. I was like, wow, I do not remember this at all. But
you're like, is my memory bad, or did the other one just not do this?
Now, did you like that part of it? Because James and I were just having this conversation. James liked it. I think it's like hokey, and I don't like it. So what do you think?
I liked it because I had like a shock factor moment where I was like, I do not remember this. But what didn't you like about it? Like, do you feel like it like disrupts the?
No, I just felt the props in that area seem not to the high level of Disney quality that I usually just ascribe to things. And so I was like, oh, this is just weird. Like, I don't know. If they refurbish that to be different, I feel like it would be better. I do think it's really neat that you go out of the one shaft to the other shaft to drop. I think that's super neat and unexpected, but.
Yeah, it's a cool mechanic. I honestly don't remember the props in there, but next time I do it, I'll look out for it. I do have to say, though, that I love Cosmic Rewind and Tron. Like, those two rides blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, which are obviously more like kind of thrill rides, but wow, I hope they can open those here in California because those are awesome.
You're like, I don't want to have to get on a plane to go experience them again.
That's a sore spot for Teresa because she tried 2 times to get on Cosmic Rewind because they still had the virtual queue and it didn't happen either time.
Damn, you got to do it. It's next time you're there.
Next time. I keep saying it's like now Brandon has to go back to Walt Disney World because he didn't get to experience Pirates. So that's my now I have to go back to Walt Disney World because I didn't get to do
you need an excuse.
None of us need excuses, but
that's what I'm saying.
It helps justify things, right? So, Brandon, can you tell us a history of Spirit Jersey? Because Spirit Jersey, for those of you that may not know, existed prior to it being in the Disney parks. I know, shocker, because that's probably when a lot of our listeners, myself included, first was introduced to the brand. But can you kind of tell us like how it all started?
Definitely. It actually started in 1983, so quite a bit before the park.
Yeah.
And the Spirit Jersey used to be called the Spirit Football Jersey because it would like resembled kind of a football jersey. And then over time, the football part of it kind of dropped out. But it's quite interesting. So in 2007, the business was bought by Jake Ptasznik, who is the CEO currently. Also, my father, so it's a family company. And he actually had a really good idea to trademark the Spirit jersey, which is, by the way, is like, just for anybody who doesn't like know the apparel world, it's super rare. They don't give trademarks for clothing bodies because it's like, like if someone trademarked a t-shirt, like then that means nobody else can really make a t-shirt. It doesn't really make any sense. Mm-hmm. But the Spirit jersey was kind of unique enough, and it had grown in the marketplace enough where the trademark office awarded it and like was like, yeah, this is kind of different. This is different enough, and it seems like the public kind of recognizes the difference of this versus like another long sleeve. So we'll grant the trademark.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is like super interesting and just a weird, like unique factoid about apparel that doesn't happen. Anyways, so around the early 2010s, it kind of took off. Spirit jersey kind of took off in colleges. So it was already kind of in a lot of resort destinations. So maybe you went to like a hotel and you had seen like, like Hilton on the back or Ritz-Carlton on the back or wherever you stay. You might have seen it in like a gift shop or like a souvenir shop. And then it started getting adopted by sororities and fraternities and like college sports. So you'd start to see it show up on campus. And then in 2016, end of 2016, beginning of 2017, Disney piloted the first Spirit jersey. I believe they started it in Disneyland, if I remember correctly. But so we like to kind of say that like the people who know us, like kind of have grown with us too. So, maybe someone met us on a family vacation when they were a kid and then they went to college and then like maybe their sorority fraternity had one. And then now they have their own kids and are going to theme parks and like have found us hopefully in Disneyland or we also show up in Universal and Knott's Berry Farm as well. So I think that certainly everything has changed since Disney. I think that the Disney parks machine is like, there's nothing like it else in the world in terms of like, you just know the amount of like merchandise that they like put out, and the fandom around Disney is so special and unique. So that's like a little bit history about the company. We nowadays, post Disney, you can kind of find us anywhere, again, still like on resorts, cruise lines, retail destinations, online, spiritjersey.com or other places, Fanatics, so sporting events, stadiums. So nowadays we are kind of everywhere, but something cool that a lot of people that might not know about Spirit jersey that I also want to add is that we have a ton of other body styles. So Spirit jerseys, like as you know it from the parks, the long sleeve with the puff print and the seam in the middle is our trademark and kind of our pinnacle product. But since then we've expanded into fleece, into loungewear, into shorts, sweats, t-shirts. We did headwear for a little bit with Disneyland for a while. We did bucket hats.
Oh.
Yeah, so we kind of have expanded a lot. Hopefully that was a brief enough history, but happy to answer any other questions you guys have.
No, that's awesome.
It's super interesting because I feel like I've seen Spirit jersey around in the parks for a lot longer than that. Like it feels like it's been around forever. Like it's always been there. Yeah, it's like
such
a staple.
Like the ears, where it's like where you just kind of the two things kind of coincide with each other.
Yeah. So that relationship, did you guys approach Disney or did Disney approach you, or like how did that relationship get started? If you can talk about that even.
Of course. Yeah, I think I know that we had been showing Disney proposals for a while prior to being adopted in the parks, but the Disney team, they're incredible at curating like assortments. They are like the pros of the pros that, so they really know the like good time to bring in a new style and like when it might be appropriate. So it's really, it's really thanks to the Disney like consumer products team that like kind of had the vision, and then this whole like amazing like thing took off. So I would say it's kind of a labor of both, but at the end of the day, the people who set the assortments in the parks are the ones like to thank for Spirit jersey being there. So
timing is everything. That's for sure. I'm thinking about things like another brand that comes to mind too, like Loungefly. That's another one that clearly they existed prior to their partnership with Disney, but now it's also become such a part of the DNA of like theme park goers and stuff that it's really amazing when you think of it. But I think it's so cool, and obviously if you have a really great, really awesome and unique product, anything's possible. But that's just so wild to me. That's only been since 2016.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about. I mean, I think like, it's interesting you say Loungefly. I think like Loungefly, I mean, there's a bunch of brands that just kind of find like a new like life and in parks, something like, that magic hits, kind of like intangible. I think, it was kind of cool because I think we were a really good addition for the park because Spirit Jersey is basically like a walking billboard, right? So like, it's really like easy for representing like the things. And we always like to say we make clothing help people like express themselves. So it's really just like a great platform to show off what you love. I mean, if that's just Disneyland on the back, or if that's like a Disney princess character, whatever it is, it's just like a cool medium. Yeah.
Well, and like previous to Spirit Jerseys, if you wanted some sort of wearable thing that said Disneyland, like your option was a t-shirt, maybe a sweatshirt, probably just the t-shirt though. There wasn't really much to choose from style wise, right? Like there was different, obviously like different kinds of t-shirts, but a t-shirt was a t-shirt was a t-shirt. So this is the first thing like that comes to mind that I think of when people, and it's perfect for the weather too, when people think of like, oh, I need something that's not like too warm, but I need something more than just a t-shirt. The Spirit Jersey is like that perfect mid-level. And then you've got the fluffy ones that I know we have lots of people that love the fuzzy ones and they wear them all winter because they're so cozy and warm.
Yes, we call those Sherpa. Sherpa is what we call them. But, but those are awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, also, like, I think it's a really good point. Like, when I grew up in theme parks, I always remember it being like the things you could get were like, screen printed t-shirts, exactly like you said, they had the t-shirt wall and there was like the graphics and all of that stuff. So what's kind of cool is I feel like we play in like a world that's like a little bit elevated. Obviously, I think the Spirit Jersey, anybody who goes in the parks kind of knows it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other products on the floor. We really pride ourselves in like quality and print technique and puff. And so there's a lot that goes into like making a Spirit Jersey that I think might be like it's kind of maybe a little bit lost in the park, but like it's really like a labor of like love and art. So we hope that we can continue to bring product that like, makes people feel like they actually are getting something really nice for what they buy in the park. It's very important to us.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, and something that's interesting, like for us, since we're in the Midwest, we don't always get to. The first time we see some of these things is, digitally, so we're seeing photos of it, and then we get to see them the next time we're in the parks. One that really caught me off guard was the recent round for the 70th, because the photos and what they looked like, I had one idea in my head of, oh, okay, like it's just this really fun, colorful print, but then when you saw it in the parks, no, it was like a textured, almost like sand. Maybe, but like you did,
almost
but
like
that was
glittery.
Yeah, it was almost like a glittery kind of like I don't know, like a bumpy texture that I was like, oh, like it's just interesting because as soon as you think you understand it, nope, you guys are coming out with some other something to make it different and unique and more fun.
No, thanks for that. Thanks for bringing that up. That technique is called caviar beads. It's like actually like little beads that are in the ink. So it gives it that like texture and like kind of like elevated feel. But yes, it has like totally has like that, Bill. You're 100% spot on. We're always trying to like up our game. I feel like Disneyland is such an innovative place, and it's a place that's always bringing like even in their rides like innovation and like really cool new. Even like it's sometimes overlooked. Like even like you think about like Disney like innovates on just like the track systems of the parks and like all these small areas. So we really try to show up in a way where we bring in new techniques and kind of like are always trying to, introduce people to a new iteration of Spirit Jersey. And we have some really cool things, like really, really unique techniques that are like in the works that I wish I could share, but I'll get in big trouble. I think that you'll start to see them roll out over the next year or so, but they're really like some amazing, like, new innovative.
That's the other crazy thing that like I always forget about when it comes to like products and stuff like that. You're working on stuff now for like at least a year, if not longer, out in the future. So like the 70th designs, for example, you guys would have already had that all buttoned up and done like a year plus ago, but we don't get to see it until later. So that's got to be a fun, challenging spot for you because you guys get so excited about these cool things. You're like, I can't say anything yet, but it's going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, Disney is a very well-planned machine. Some things are 2 years in advance, and wow, It's how do we design for the customer of 2 years away, you know, and it's like the park goer of 2 years away. It's just like, it's definitely kind of interesting to wrap your head around, I have to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're totally right. It moves on a very like elongated timeline, but you have to think about all the logistics that go into just like even stocking the shelves in a Disney park. It's like, you know, they have so much work to do on their end. Yeah. So
one of the things that you mentioned at Disneyana that I think that people don't realize that I want you to talk about, because I thought it was amazing, is you guys do have something that I think is beneficial that other manufacturers, clothing especially, don't have, which is you manufacture the stuff in Southern California.
We manufacture, I'll say, okay, so for a long time, we were only manufacturing in Southern California. Now we do a lot in California, but also some overseas. So, but, you know,
but still, that's impressive.
Relative to where, so we're kind of, now our production channels are we produce like kind of all over the world now, but a lot, like what's unique about us is that we have a lot of domestic capability. It's like not something you see frequently in apparel and fashion anymore, because everybody unfortunately has like moved overseas. So it gives us kind of a unique opportunity though, because we can get into like, you know, chasing things quickly or like capturing an important moment, because we don't have to wait for it to come, you know, for 3 months on a boat from China, you know. So it's like, so we're a blend. I can't say we're 100% Southern California, but we do pride ourselves in having a really big operation here. Our biggest operation is in California. So we have about 150 people here in LA. And if you guys are ever in LA, I'd love to have you guys on a tour so I can show you. But we really we love that about us. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
That's so cool. That is so cool though, because like you said, that's very rare. And just think of like, right, the volume of things that you're having to produce when you're producing for Disney. Like, I can't even try and wrap my head around what the like order size numbers must be, because it's just, they're everywhere. They're in like so many different shops, and then you're walking around and you're seeing so many different people wearing them, and that's just that one day that you were there and saw thousands of Spirit jerseys within the park. So trying to like,
and you have to think about like sizes too. Like, you know, it's not like a normal widget, if you will, that's just like, you know,
like ears, one size fits all.
Yeah. Or even like, you know, I was just looking at my phone. I'm like, Apple has like 4 different size phones, but that's 4 size phones. Like, you're doing a small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, you know, whatever. Yeah. And then in all the different designs.
And we're rolling out 3X soon, and we do youth. So you have to imagine that it gets like, it gets pretty crazy. But it's, you know, it's worth, I mean, I feel like, you know, also it's like you want to kind of you want the most amount of people to be able to wear your jersey as possible. So you have to, you know, so much stuff. Yeah.
But producing it, there's a lot. There's a lot that needs to be made.
There's a lot goes into it. Yeah. And there's a lot of interesting like technicalities too, right? Like an extra small might have a different screen. I don't know how much you guys know about screen printing, but quick, like tiny little blurb. Basically screens are burned. It's a silk screen with holes in it, and then ink passes through over it to go onto the garment in different layers. But when you're doing an extra small or a youth or a 3X, those screen sizes don't work for all, you know, they have to be expanded. So it's like an additional, like, you know, kind of logistical thing that you have to deal with, is like sizing up screen, sizing down screen. So it's not as easy as just like running a production order with one, you know.
That's a whole nother layer of complicated.
See, you fly through this like, oh, people don't care about this. I guarantee you people care about this. And I guarantee you, if no one else does, I care about this, because I love learning all this type of stuff. So if you have something to explain, you don't have to fly through it. You can explain it.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's a great point. You know, it's one of those things that you like. Obviously, a small child's shoulder width for it to say Disneyland is not the same as an adult's shoulder width for it to say Disneyland, but they look identical, just like one shrunk.
So it has to be scaled proportionally. Exactly. Yeah, they have to like look the same. We want like a child to be able to match with their parent, you know, like, so there's a lot of quality control that goes in, and like, you know, so anyway. But
how do you might not be the right person to ask this to, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How do you, and I'm sure like Disney obviously like places an order with you. Do you know how they determined, or anybody determines, like, we need 300 smalls and 400 mediums? And because that always baffles me, because you go to the store and like something that's super popular, it's like, great, all that's left is extra small and like 3X.
I'm definitely not the right. I don't think I
Perfect.
know. I wouldn't be able to answer, but I will say that credit to the Disney team. They are like amazing with numbers, and they are so good at knowing like their park guests that, and they have like so many resources. So they're the ones who really drive that. We have to do a bunch of it we have to do a bunch of that kind of planning for our own site, but our own site versus the scale of how many 6 or 7 Disney parks they have, it's like, yeah.
Plus online, plus
Yeah.
all of the hotels and everything. There's so much.
Yeah,
I'm
so I wish I had an answer,
they've got
but
some sort of magical formula that they're
I'm sure. It's one of those things that like I've never done work like that, so like it's like magic to me, like how they figure some of that stuff out. So it was just a shot in the dark to see if you might have had some, because I always wondering.
Here's another total shot in the dark question. I would be super impressed if you even had a ballpark figure, but do you have any guess as to how many Spirit jersey designs you have done with Disney?
Oh boy,
I can't even tell you how many are in the park right now.
He's probably like, well, let's see. I have to take out the ones that we've planned for the next 2 years. So.
Okay, maybe that's a better
I
question.
honestly don't, but it's gotta be like in the few hundreds for sure. Yeah. I honestly have no idea. Like if I knew, I would say it. I don't.
On average, let's say, do you have any idea how long like and I guess it probably varies, which is why I'm saying on average, how long does a single design stay in production before it's discontinued? Because you guys are cycling stuff all the time, it seems like.
No, it's a really good question. I mean, I think every style Spirit jersey that goes into the parks, Disney has a method about, what makes sense for how long it should be there. Of course, like, an Oogie Boogie Bash Spirit jersey probably isn't around as long as like, the classic like retro with like the black with like the white name drop. We don't do that anymore, but we do the black on black, right? Which is like the version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But so the answer is every product that goes into their park has like probably a different shelf life. So it'd be hard to say. Yeah. But that's like anything. Some things are seasonal, some things are like really are for Christmas time. Some are for, anyway.
Could be like a popularity thing too. Like if it's doing super well or, whatever.
Do designs ever come back?
How do you mean?
So like if there's a design that you've done, just in general, doesn't even have to be just Disney, but a design that like you stop producing because it's like, well, the company, they don't order it anymore. Do they ever come back later and they're like, we'd like to redo this one again or whatever? I know you had a specific limited run of a couple at Disneyana, but just in general.
Sometimes it's kind of rare. I think what I love and admire about Disney, like in their teams and how they plan, is they love to bring in newness all the time. So I say it's pretty rare that something comes back. Sometimes there's really cool moments where we've done cool things with Disney. Like they did a Club 33 like mashup jersey. So basically they took like all of these old Spirit jerseys that were discontinued and they like literally cut them in half. I wish I had a photo of it.
Kind of like Frankenstein.
But that doesn't help. Yeah, I guess this doesn't help anybody that's listening, but they Frankenstein them and they like released like I think a few hundred of them for Club 33 members, and they were like gone in 15 minutes or something like that. But they like sometimes they'll do like a cool, there's cool opportunities like that. But most things would be an update to an older style. I don't know if things are ever brought back like 1-to-1.
Sure.
For the parks, at least. But I will say that on our site, and especially now that we do have a Disney license, we're making our own Disney product outside of what you can find in the parks. We will have things that like come back, like due to demand. So
that's awesome. So I just like, how does this whole process work, right? So when you're partnered with, Disney or Universal or Knott's or whoever it is you're making the Spirit jersey for, do they come to you and say, hey, we really want a, I don't know, Ratatouille design? Go for it? Or do they come to you with the design? Or is it kind of the flip and you guys will create designs and say, hey, does this fit your needs? How does that process work? And like, what's kind of the timeline of like concept to parks? Like what's the birth of a Spirit jersey? Kind of, can you talk through that process?
Yeah, I'll talk about it outside of Disney because Disney's kind of a unique unique one in that we worked very like closely hand in hand with them to develop and to bring things to life in the park. But like a typical like customer maybe who might find us, who might order with us from like maybe a smaller theme park or like a resort or, you know, wherever, either they reach out to our like wholesale line and they like have a request like, you know, we really want to fill our shop with a spirit jersey. What can you come up with? And that gets kicked into like a whole proposal system in-house here. And they get a proposal back from our design room that has like maybe a few options, like 5 to 10 options. And then they get a sales rep who's worked with them to kind of like make sure they land on something they're happy with. And then production like can be, depending on like how complicated it is, they could be receiving their good. Like if it's made here in LA, maybe it's coming to them in as short as a couple weeks or a few weeks, which is like pretty fast for those guys. Or if you have something that's like really like complicated and maybe it's not made domestic, it could take a couple months. So it kind of runs the gambit. Every process a little bit different. But I would say that what we specialize in is, you know, when you work with like companies like, and this is like totally public knowledge, so it's not, when you work with companies like a Universal or like a Disney or like a Knot, they typically have art packs, which are like, they're able to send to the people who are their vendors.
Sure.
And so we pride ourselves to being able to like ingest those art packs and like kind of make something unique. So our design room is, I think we have like 9 designers here in LA who are constantly working on proposals for all of our customers.
That makes sense. Does
that help answer that?
Yeah, no,
okay.
For sure. Because when you think of things like, you know, whether it's a Disney property or a Universal property or whatever, there's specific like fonts and like all sorts of different like things that are unique to whatever. So like we're on the site right now and Tag's looking at like Star Wars stuff. Like they have a very unique font style. Same thing with like the Little Mermaid, or if it's like Halloween Horror Nights or something. They've got all of these very specific looks to them that then you guys then have to duplicate and make sure is, you know, 100%. So that makes sense that they would have like a kind of like a kit that then they're like, here's the specific thing. So like the Star Wars logo, and then you can fill it in with, you know, whatever creative thing you want to fill it in with. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely like in the case of like a Disney or Universal, they really drive the creative, right? So
yeah,
it's their teams that are making art. So it would be pretty rare that like, you know, that a company like us or like a company like Loungefly is like sketching up their own stitch. You know, it really like that art all comes from them because they're the ones who own it and kind of like are the keepers of it. So
makes total sense. Well, and like I said, it's got to look a specific way too, because otherwise it's not the right thing then, right?
Yeah, and what makes us, you know, and then what makes you unique is how you use that art, which is like always, are you someone that just slaps it on a t-shirt, or you turn into something special? So that's always like, we're always kind of like thinking through that filter.
What's your favorite spirit jersey?
Oh my gosh.
That we've ever done?
Yes.
Okay, I think someone asked me this at the Disneyana convention, and I think my answer is still the same. We have a black on black that's in the park right now. I wear a good amount of black. I think it's really sleek. I don't know how to explain it. Like when you see it, it doesn't just look like black paint on black paint. It kind of has like a little bit of a gray hue to it in the lettering and the puff. So it makes it's like really sharp. It's a little bit kind of like, I find it to be like one of the more like fashionable things that we've done in the park. So I love it. But so that's got to be my top, or the original Disney Retro, which was like the original like black with just the white Disneyland, which like is, you know, I don't think we do anymore for them. So.
Just wild.
Yeah. I saw like a Reddit post the other day that was like, I have all 4 of the original Disney like spirit jerseys, and I was like, you know, it doesn't feel that long ago. Or sorry, it wasn't that long ago because, like I said, it was only 2017. But I guess like that's coming up on like 8-9 years. So I don't know. I guess like, you know, we always see people who are like collecting and trading, and like, so I think it's a really cool part about Disney and spirit jerseys. So.
And it's fun too because you've got like, you know, if you could get the same spirit jersey, but if you pick it up at Disneyland, it'll say Disneyland on the back. Or if you pick up that same design at Walt Disney World, then it has the Disney World logo on the back. Or I've even seen now, like if you get them online and you're not getting it at a park specifically, it's the same front design, and maybe it's got like the big like lower back design, but then it says something different on the back, you know, so then you can even have different variations of the same spirit jersey.
Yeah, one thing the parks are really good at, the parks teams are amazing at, is like creating a unique experience for people who go to those parks. So it's why it's why there's so many spirit jerseys that are like Disneyland or Walt Disney World like oriented, because, but you know, it has to be special for people who go there. So like you'll never see that stuff on our own site or outside of the berm, right? They call it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and even like you can't even buy it from, well, it's not Shop Disney anymore. It's just DisneyStore.com. You can't even buy it sometimes you can get the park specific ones, but not too often.
The only one that I saw on the website on DisneyStore.com right now, because I was looking, is the Disneyland 70th anniversary. There's like the Haunted Mansion and Hercules and stuff, but not like...
Oh, and a Villains one?
But like I was trying to find the one that you like that's the black on black, because I was like, oh, Disney Store will probably have it. Nope.
Got to go to the park.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So what has that been like now that, you went from being a partner to creating for Disney to now be able to have the Disney license to be able to create your guys' own stuff. How has that been for your design team?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, I think like with the Disney license is very exciting because we get to help. Our goal obviously is we always like prioritize our parks initiatives, but there are some like IPs or some really niche things that maybe like the parks may not, like it may not be right for them. So it allows us to play in kind of in that sandbox and like meet, you know, fans in different places where we don't yet. So we got a lot of cool stuff cooking. I think it's just like a lot of fun. I mean, we get to like now kind of like drive a lot of the creative for our own Disney Spirit Jersey stuff.
Well, and I'm sure like, right, because you guys are all fans too. I'm sure there's been ones that you're like, oh, we just, if we could only do this thing, you know, that now you guys get
all
to actually like create, like we can make it happen now. we don't have to wait back and hope.
Exactly. And we're like always at the conventions and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we did like 10 shows this year. So like, you know, Comic-Con shows like that all over the country. And we're going to do like, I think maybe even close to 20 next year. So we are always out there on the con floor and people are always telling us, God, why don't you have an Emperor's New Groove Spirit Jersey? Why don't you have a Treasure Planet? Why don't you have, and you know, before we were like, it's not necessarily 100% up to us. And now we kind of have an opportunity to be like, you know what? Let's work on that. Let's do something. Let's make it happen. So I always keep a list. And I think I had at the Disneyland, I had like a little station where people can like write what they want to see. And that doesn't just like disappear like that. I keep a running list of like everything that people tell me, because like I always feel like we are a brand for fans. And like if we are not creating for the communities and the fandoms that we're in, then we're like missing the point. So it's very important. We do a lot of like listening to see what people are interested in. So if you have any ideas, my email is Brandon@spiritjersey.com. Anybody listening to this is welcome to email me and reach out and with a suggestion. So
that's very dangerous, but you'll have to let us know if anybody puts it.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Okay, so like your favorite is like the black on black. What do you think is like the most interesting design? It doesn't have to be Disney either, but like what do you think the most interesting design that Spirit Jersey's done so far?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a lot of we call them preppies. I don't think that's necessarily what people know them as, but like you would know it if you saw like, okay, so the Disney, like when they do like Disneyland and then there's like each letter is like a character or like a princess. So like those are really complicated to actually make. So, you know, like there's a guy in our design room named Doug. He's amazing. And he's made a lot of the like Disney styles, the most popular Disney Spirit Jerseys. And he does those. And those take like, you know, those can take days to like get the letters right just in the design phase. And then to actually go to print on something where you have like, you know, that many colors.
Yeah.
Like so that technique I always thought was very special and cool. And I think that it's resonated in the parks too, because it seems like we see like more of those pop up. But so that's cool. We're doing a version of that now where we like almost do like scenes in the lettering. So like you can imagine like if we had like a Seattle, like might have like Space Needle inside the puff. So I don't know. I always thought those were really cool.
I didn't even think about that part. It's screen printing, so every color is a different layer or different step.
Look at this Los Angeles one on their website. Wow. This is crazy.
Yeah, the Los Angeles preppy. Yeah, we call them preppies like in-house, but I don't know. I don't think the parks necessarily call that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows the official term.
There you go.
Heard it from Brandon. Those are called preppies, and they take a lot of time. So appreciate them.
So when you're like me, and I'm sorry to bring this up because I'm just that guy. When you're like me and you're like, I'm not paying $80 for a Spirit jersey, you could be like,
now
okay,
you know why.
Okay, this is complicated. There's a lot of work that goes into it. It's probably worth $80.
There is a lot of work that goes into it. I challenge people to definitely like feel the hand feel of like what a Spirit jersey ink feels like relative. We find ourselves in really making sure that like our jerseys are never like, like kind of like sticky, like kind of like print feeling. Like we're really, really picky about that, about our puff. Like our puff doesn't crack for a long time. So we really hope that like when people buy Spirit jersey, one, they know they're getting quality, and two, that it's going to last them and kind of help them like encapsulate a memory for a lot of years. So we have like our cotton is called 14 singles cotton. It's like a very like nice weight. So there all those like small details kind of add up, of course, to like that price tag. But we do truly believe like it is worth it. If you're into like keepsakes.
So what's the testing process like for all that stuff? Because I'm sure that you test all of those things to see durability and stuff. Anybody who's been to an IKEA has seen like that robotic machine that's like pushing on the couch or the chair or the whatever. So like, what's the apparel equivalent of that, I guess?
Yeah, there's a lot of testing that goes in for a bunch of different reasons. Making sure that inks last for a long time, making sure that there's a lot of like regulatory things too, like making sure that products are like safe to go out into the market and stuff. But also for us, like we dye a lot of clothing, so color dyes can shrink garments. They can do all kind of weird things. They can down to like how does the dye affect the label that's in there? Is it changing the color a bit? Are we getting good consistency across like all of our dye colors? So there's a lot of like testing that goes in before something kind of goes out to the market, to answer your question. I wish it was as cool as we had like a robot that was like squeezing our jerseys together, but our equivalent is that, we have a whole PD room, which we call product development, and they are like, that's what they do, is they source things, they try new materials. We call them like magic makers. So yeah.
Bob and PD is just constantly taking the shirt, putting it in the washer, washing it, putting it in the dryer, drying it, and starting it over again, just all day, just trying to see how many washes before it.
If you thought you were tired of doing your own laundry,
just
try doing it on 100 different styles over and over. No, it's but it's good. It's important. Like last thing you want to happen is you buy something for 80, 90, $100, and it's like 2 washes, and then it's like that's the worst feeling. So we never want to send anybody home with that. So hopefully that answers that.
Speaking of, I had actually been writing notes. I feel like this is a good accidental segue. I wrote down if you had any care guide tips for people that own Spirit jerseys. What's the best way to take care of this beautiful garment that you own? Do you wash it inside out, cold? What's the best way to do it?
Okay, I'm lazy, so I don't. But and I don't know if you necessarily have to. I believe there's like a technical like recommended care instructions on the label somewhere, but they're pre-shrunk, so you don't have to worry too much about them shrinking in the washer dryer. They shouldn't. I always wash my clothes cold wash. It's just I think that it makes your stuff last longer, especially with like ink, so like puff ink. Yeah. So I mean, my personal recommendation outside of what's on the regulatory labels on the garment is like I cold wash things, and then of course air drying is so much better for clothing just in general. But not everybody has time to let something hang out.
That makes sense because with the ink, I'm sure the heat probably doesn't do nice things to the ink all the time. So air drying, cold wash and air dry.
Like I said, it is pre-shrunk, so it won't shrink on you. And the recommendation is turn it inside out. So if you turn it inside out, I think you'll be good. But
I turn anything with a print, I turn inside out because it's not rubbing up against everything else. But funny story, tangent for a second. On the cruise, I miscalculated and I changed one too many times, and I wasn't going to have clothes at the end of the trip. So they had a special deal where you could send the laundry for the cruise line to do it. And I told James when I was looking at it last night, all the stuff that has screen printing on it, I think they did like a really harsh treatment because a lot of it. So I have a Jurassic Park shirt that I bought and I've worn it one time and it looks like I've worn it for months.
Oh no.
So I'm like, I think that they were just really harsh with that stuff. So pay attention to the tags.
Yeah, laundry care makes a difference.
Yep. Oh, no bleach. Sorry, no bleach.
No
That's
bleach.
the other thing.
Yeah.
I was trying
Unless you're trying to make a new design.
Right.
Well, we had so much fun talking with Brandon from Spirit Jersey that you will have to listen next week to get the rest of our conversation. Well, it's that time again for our friend Eric over at Concierge to catch us up on other Disney news.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Johnson with Concierge, and welcome to the D180. While Teg and Teresa cover all things Disneyland, in the D180 we take a spin around the rest of the Disney universe, and we do it in 180 seconds. Let's jump right in. Wowie zowie, folks, we're back with more fun news from around the parks, and how could we ignore these bits of news? Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween parties have been going on for a couple of weeks now, but they have officially invited our friend Minnie to the festivities this year. Yep, Mickey made some space in the Town Square Hall, and now visitors to this spot during the Halloween party get to visit 2 Disney characters at once, and they're both wearing their costumed best. While we're in the park, let's visit some of the other characters you can find around the Magic Kingdom. During the Not-So-Scary party, you can find so many different characters who are not on the regular roster. For instance, Jack Skellington and Sally swap out for Mickey and Minnie in Town Square at various times during the night. Be on the lookout for Captain Jack Sparrow near Caribbean Plaza, and check off the characters of Aladdin in the Agrabah Marketplace. If you want some deeper cuts, head to Frontierland, where you can find the Country Bears wandering between sets of their musical jamboree. Shaker, Wendell, and Big Al are out for some rare visits. But wait, I'm also hearing that ghosts have escaped from the Haunted Mansion along the way. What? Don't let them in your double-wide stroller, or they may just follow you home. Whew, let's get out of the Magic Kingdom and into the cool confines of our Disney World Resort hotels. If you want to stay as close to the magic as possible, take advantage of Disney World's 20% off deal. From October 12th through December 25th, there are a ton of discounted rooms available. Most weeks, Sunday through Thursday, are open at most of the Disney resorts. You may need a convenient concierge to tell you which ones, but come on. This is travel during peak times, folks. Witness the Halloween and winter holiday decorations in person. Visit the festivals of foods and wines and holidays at Epcot. And do it for less. Seriously, it's a great time to visit, and if the food blogs can't convince you, maybe the discounts can. I hope you enjoyed our quick spin around the rest of the Disney universe. If you would like to learn more about these Disney adventures or just have a few questions, please come on over. Visit the social media and websites of both DLWeekly and Concierge. Then reach out to your personal travel planner, Teresa. She looks forward to planning something special for you and yours. I'm Eric Johnson, and this has been your D180.
Thanks, Eric.
It's okay. I'll be the only weekly tier without an answer. Make sure you send your questions to Producer James or Producer Vern at trivia@DLWeekly.net.
Welcome back to TriviaLand, where we are going to find out the answers to tonight's questions and see how Teg and Teresa did. Teg, Teresa, how are you feeling tonight?
Well, considered I turned an actual card in and a not real card in.
All the cards have been voided.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Stop taking pictures of my penmanship. It's my left hand. Let's see how you did. Your first question from listener Kavei S. In which ride queue will you find Gushu, WDI 1401, and Walrus wipes? Both of you saying that's the queue for web slingers. The correct answer that we are looking for is the queue for web slingers.
Hey!
Now,
maybe we earned a web slingers card.
Oh, maybe. Now, I gotta know, did you catch that those are plays on Shugu, the popular super glue?
Oh, Shugu.
And WDI 1401 is a play on WD-40, the lubricant.
I was just catching the Disney, like, WGI 1401. That's where Walt Disney Imagineering
these are all plays on actual things that you would find in a industrial type building stuff place, and they were getting in Disney stuff too. It's like triple entendre. It was amazing. And
Vern, I would just like to say that Teresa sent a picture of your writing, and it looks like what your handwriting is going to look like when you're like 105.
Okay, I would love to see your handwriting with your non-dominant hand.
Oh no, it's garbage.
Everybody that's talking smack, let's see it. Okay,
we did it.
Okay,
you did a good job. But
you put the pad on my non-dominant side.
I'm going to be real honest. When I looked over and saw the writing, I'm like, "Is he okay?" And then I realized it was your left hand. Sorry. Back to TriviaLand.
Yes.
Your second listener submitted question. I hope all of this stays in for the episode.
So now we can leave it in. It's fun.
From listener Andy M. Who is the oldest Disney character? Specifically asking for the first one ever animated, put on the screen, there for our eyes to gaze upon. Both of you saying it was Oswald, but just before Oswald, hitting the screen in 1925, making his debut in Alice Solves the Puzzle, we met Pete.
Oh.
Like
Pete, who now shows up in Toontown, like that hangs out with. Wow,
Pete. Yeah, Goofy's friend, big old gruff Pete.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're friends, but they're kind of like frenemies.
Right. Goofy's acquaintance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
Your third question from my Instagram For You feed. Before eventually using the voice of Paul Frees for the ghost host in Haunted Mansion, a woman had been considered. Who was she? Tag said Peggy Lee, and Teresa said that she had to turn in her Haunted Mansion card. The correct answer that I was looking for, the voice of Lady Tremaine and Maleficent, Eleanor Audley.
Oh. Okay. Makes sense.
And Teresa, if you check your Instagram now, I sent you the exact thing that had showed up to me, and they have a clipping of her doing her audition, and it's amazing. She's actually doing the script as we know it, and then as she's doing it, she stops and is like, no, that was garbage. Let's start over again.
Okay, we will make sure that ends up in the
it's
the show notes. So
it was
everybody
so good hearing that. It was fun. All right, and your final question tonight from listener Chrissy A. On the road from the parking structure to the drop-off point, how many lampposts are on the road, not including the ones in the drop-off area, just the road? Tag said 23, and Teresa agreed with him. The correct answer that we are looking for has a 3 in it. According to Chrissy A., there are 34 lampposts on the road, not including the ones in the drop-off area.
Huh. What a question. Somebody was bored riding the tram and was like, let's count that and send that in for trivia. Why not?
Or some people just like to count. Like I've known a lot of people that as they're going up steps, they count every step, and there's a lot of counters out there, and I appreciate a good counter. Well, listeners, how did you do listening at home? How do you think Tag and Teresa did? Do you have that perfect question that you're looking forward to hearing on the air sometime? Well, if you do, please feel free to send that in to us at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast and Andy Mack for all of the wonderful character transitions.
I am the podcast that flaps in the night. I am the cliffhanger that has you hitting like and subscribe. I am DLWeekly.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.